Smart 24, driving business.
Well, a very good morning to you watching. Today is Thursday and that is the 20th of June 2024, and welcome to the morning show, Smart Minutes Business here in Smart 24 TV, and of course we're talking business 24/7. My name is Mercy Katsime and I'm joined with Noah. Good morning, Noah.
Yes, good morning to you, Mercy.
Yeah,
you're looking great.
Oh, thank you.
It's a bright morning.
Where is it? Where is it? Anyway, yeah, and I'm going to be taking it on with Noah today. Well, today we have an interesting topic, you know, other than individuals, you know, grappling with their own loans and debts.
Yes.
Each country, almost every country you know, is grappling with debt.
The US, that is the biggest economy, has a huge debt.
Can you imagine?
China, and it's borrowing from China.
Ironically. But anyway, if you want to catch us, you can catch us on our social media platforms. You can go on Twitter, LX, on Smart 24 TV now, and of course you can go on Facebook on Smart 24 TV official, and of course YouTube is right there. Just type in Smart 24 TV
and stream live.
We're always there. But if you're a first comer, newcomer, please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, notifications will be coming your way, and trust me, we also have the Smart Digital application. You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store and you can just download Smart Digital application. Trust me, you will read, you will listen. We have some radio stations that you can listen into, and of course Smart 24 TV. Well, don't we have interesting things to talk about? We're looking at East Africa, what is happening is in East Africa, international news coming in from Afrexim Bank, that is going to boost DRC trade finance, and of course we shall be coming in with Zanzibar enhancing business investment, looking at how they were actually having a celebration right there at a given hotel, right there, celebration, talking more about business investment, you know, other than Uganda being the safest among the safest countries to invest in.
Is this still the safest? Yes, it is.
It is actually.
The social life, a few things that have been shaking up the capital city recently.
I do.
I think, but they have been handled. The other time the police officer was here, who was that? Even yesterday, Fande Kanarura was here, and the other time, I've forgotten the Fande's name, who was here and assured people that the situation that was happening out there in Kampala has been. But you know, getting to the whole issue of Uganda being the safest, what exactly does it mean? Is it only security?
Oh, no.
What other things are considered?
Well, other things are considered given the fact that they get tax holidays, the investors get tax holidays. I mean, they're not as much taxed as us who are going to pay the 31 a trillion. You get me? You get to...
How much do you owe?
We are above the mark. We are now at 97 trillion in debt.
That's a lot of money.
So you're going to contribute as a citizen of Uganda. Everyone has to contribute till we sum up 31 trillion.
We shall pay that money.
But I know the projection is quite big, honestly. I don't know if we're going to really cover that huge. But you know, with URA, I think they're determined actually as much as...
And you know, Ugandans are hardworking.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, talking about that, looking at debt management in Uganda, we've seen the scandals that have been happening here and there about corruption, and then money just disappearing out of a lot of embezzlement. You know, the stories that are making headlines recently about the members of parliament, which is quite
yesterday shocking. Michael Mawanda, Honorable Michael Mawanda was
actually here making headlines.
Was snatched.
Wow. Interesting. It's now normal. Can you imagine?
But no, I should stop pretending I'm happy about this.
Really?
I am happy.
You are.
I'm happy people are being arrested over corruption.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I thought you were.
I need a party. I need to thank the president for making sure this is happening.
Well, yeah, they are brought to book, but do they really pay?
That's the question.
Do they really pay for that?
You're actually telling me it's a celebration.
It is. And,
before they go.
And the next thing you know, they're walking scot-free, like nothing ever happened.
So the list of the members that have been arrested, yes, from the latest, Honorable Michael Mawanda, I don't want to call them honorable when they are arrested, especially if they're proven guilty. I don't want to call them honorable because the word honorable is being abused.
Doesn't suit them.
So Michael Mawanda was arrested. There's also on Mutembuli Yusuf from Butaleja East. That one is my MP. There is the mercy, you look at me like I'm also guilty. I'm not a member of parliament. There is Namuju from Rwengo. There is Busiki MP, that is Akamba. Those are so far 4 members of parliament that have been arrested over issues of corruption. And I think this should go on without fear or favor.
Well, talking about debt repayment in this financial year,
yes,
away from the scandals that have been happening that has led to debt, because you realize as a country, Uganda, you know, we borrow. We borrow for certain projects and, borrow billions of dollars to fund certain projects. At the end of the day, less money is allocated to the very projects. I mean, where was the rest of the money go? I mean, how long do we keep on? We actually borrow to pay debts. Can you imagine? Debts, yes. It's very. It's
quite a common thing in business. Even us, we do some of these things. I don't know if you have ever borrowed money to pay a debt. But we do borrow to pay debts. This bank gives you money, you go to another bank to borrow and pay this one. It's like the extension. The other one gives you an extension, lenience too. But unfortunately, you'll forever be in debt. So one of the things that economists have always told me is that a country can never avoid borrowing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how China does it.
But for what reason? You have to borrow with
yes. Now that's a part of accountability that you wanted to talk about, which should really be considered very seriously, because now the case of Uganda, and I wish Peter could be showing some of these MPs that have been arrested. It would be nice to talk about them by first, because this is exactly where borrowing has to be seriously discussed. If we are borrowing, now, like this year's budget, I think we have a percentage that is coming from local revenues and a huge percentage that is coming from borrowing. And the borrowing is from the local, private lenders or investors, institutions that are borrowing to the government, and also foreign. So you talk about the likes of World Bank. I'm assuming it's one of those institutions that have to give us money. So the budget, the national budget of over 72 trillion Uganda shillings is going to be facilitated by local revenue and of course borrowing.
Yeah, actually even the banks, our domestic banks, was it Honorable the Permanent Secretary?
Permanent Secretary.
Yes, we said that they're going to be borrowing from domestic banks because they have money.
They do have a lot of money.
Why? Because normal people are failing to get loans.
One of the interesting
interest rates are high. People, so the government is like, you know what? Let's borrow.
Let's borrow. They should give us money.
Well, of course, in the budget, the debt repayment that was at 3.1 trillion was allocated for external debt repayment. 3.1 trillion external. Well, of course, for now we are above the mark for debt. Like we've gone overboard. Yeah?
We can't borrow anymore.
We've gone overboard. To the international standards, we have really gone overboard, honestly, with debts. Now, of course, 3.1 trillion will cover the external debt, and 9.1 trillion for domestic debt repayment. Yeah, domestically, borrowing domestically.
You know, sometimes I want to get it down to the level of the reality. Because these figures, audio figures, things that we talk about, they sound in our minds. But what's the reality of this debt to Mercy, to me, to the Ugandan out there? You get? Because yes, we have gone to the limit. What implications is it dropping on us? Where does that leave the economy?
Well, first of all, taxation. We're going to be highly taxed. You've seen it, and of course, Kenyans today are planning a protest for overtaxation.
For overtaxation. Oh, Ruto came with that.
Yes. So those are the implications that come with a debt. And of course, over time, the CSOs have come and, advocated for accountability, ABC and D, but nothing is being done. With the different systems put in place to track the human capital development projects, talk about the PDM.
Yes.
Investing heavily in systems. But at the end of the day, they're not running.
They're not running at all.
The beneficiaries are not really getting as much as they should.
As they should.
How does Noah, how do you, because now we are covering the people in rural settings, people that are, impoverished, the people that are vulnerable. Now, how does Noah, an employee of Smart 24 TV, appear on the list? Do you really need it as much as the person from Captura? Do you need it? Because those are the names we've seen appearing. Someone is okay. They're fighting for 1 million.
They're fighting for 1 million. And trust me, the people who are getting that 1 million are the people who do not deserve it. And when I say don't deserve it, it's because they have a lot that they don't deserve this little money. Let me tell you, I've seen the worst that some of these programs have done in Uganda, and I hope that the president is aware. I hope different authorities are aware, because I have witnessed what NUSAF did to people in my village, that people were promised, someone can be promised, this is an estimation, someone is promised 100 kilos of maybe or Janet, and they go plow a huge chunk of land expecting that amount of Janet, and they get about 5 kilos of Janet. You get the point. They are told they're going to get goats, and you have had scenarios where these people buy goats of 7 million.
Well, actually, who are the beneficiaries? Who are the beneficiaries of those goats? Because you cannot exactly bring in an exotic goat without knowing the condition, without even making research if they are going to they died.
First of all,
you have to research if the conditions are favorable.
Yes.
What you're bringing in.
Do you think that even real goats, they bring you something that is malnourished, something that you go to the village and buy it at 300,000 or 500,000? You get? And this is happening. So people wait. They raise people's expectations, and expectations can give you false hope, and before they know it, they bring them some malnourished goat that dies in a few weeks. So if we are talking about the debt, we need to, it's the same way we talk about services. The reason why a country borrows, it's because we need to supplement on our local tax.
Exactly.
Which means we are working towards improving our services. Talk about education, talk about health, talk about transport and communication, talk about agriculture. But when you look at education, recently they've been sharing schools where pupils are studying in mud, in under the trees. And that to me is quite very disturbing. And when you wake up and you see somebody is being arrested and 1 billion Uganda shillings is found in her house, that drives me crazy.
That billion would have done something great.
A school is complete.
Not even a school, but
a hospital is done.
A community.
So, debt. When you tell me that we have reached the limit, I don't know where the limit has. Where the limit?
I don't know, actually, because I don't even feel 3.1 trillion is enough, you know.
It's not.
But anyway, you have to get ready as Ugandans to be exhausted.
Yes.
31 trillion awaits you. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If you want peace, honestly, that is also in the Bible. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
We shall
pay your
faithfully pay our
dues,
tax.
pay your dues, and Bank of Uganda will find means of, you know, tightening the monetary policies that we're not highly inflated. We are grateful actually that the inflation is not.
It's not much.
It's not much, honestly. You know, Ugandans have plenty of food away from the global shocks like fuel prices increasing. I think we are good to go for now.
We're surviving.
Yeah, we are surviving, unlike some countries that are.
The part that has to be questionable is the part where the president is emphasizing on wealth creation. I think the wealth creation part is going to stay questionable for some time because people are surviving. There's a difference between living and surviving. I think so, because when you're living, you know that every day you are adding on something to your life. You're prospering.
Survival, you're not sure.
But you're picking from hand to mouth. You get the bills are there. Rent has its own. Now people who are in Kampala, rent has its own tax.
The standard of living. Oh yeah.
My friend, almost oxygen is taxed when you're renting.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, that it wraps it up for our discussion right now, I guess. We're going to see what is happening into the press. Well, of course, not so a few minutes ago, as Noah was speaking about the scandals that are happening. Hey, it is now normal, like money just disappears and people, they are culprits and you're looking at them and of course the lawmakers and lawyers are subject of police investigation for allegedly eating forbidden fruits of the sweat of farmers. The sweat of farmers. And we're emphasizing agribusiness, we are emphasizing agriculture at the forefront. Really? You know, people came up and said that the money that was allocated for agriculture is not enough.
That is not enough.
It is not enough.
But the truth is agriculture is not given much money considering the fact that it's the backbone.
Since it's we are into programs, you never know, people will tap into it differently. PDA, those household income projects and the likes.
You already punched holes in PDM. Now you want to tell us what?
Of course, whose fields were plundered during wars that plagued the country over the past decade. Today, we are back.
Yeah, back
in
That's
history.
Daily Monitor, yeah?
Oh God, unmasking the gaps in care and treatment for cancer patients, and of course, looking here at forged National Council for Education letter lands varsity officials in trouble. That is when you get yourself up. And of course, among directs Kosase to probe the Rwiji eviction. There's a lot that has been happening in Uganda.
Rwiji.
Oh yeah.
So then here we have the Cash, 2 more MPs arrested. Actually 2 more. And more hand clap. That's Honorable Mawanda and Modimi. They were arrested. That makes them 5. That makes the number to 5 MPs that have been arrested over corruption. We will continue to drum on this. But you remember where the whole corruption exposure came from? Started from Twitter. With one single man. Yeah. Now, that means that
people be undercover and investigating.
We have the ex-Mlago boss, 6 others charged over 14 billion Uganda shillings loss. That's in the New Vision.
Wow.
Find it on page 38.
I'm hearing every time I close my eyes, billions.
It's in billions.
Where
you remember way back it was hundreds of millions. It started slowly, and things
you have to pay your dues. But when it comes to accountability check, why is there ABC and the money not being dispersed to the responsible beneficiaries?
Yes.
No one is going to answer.
More about this meeting is that you remember what happened is that the conversation in Kololo was regarding IFRIS.
Oh yeah.
That electronic collection of tax, which many people were contesting against and saying this is harsh. Some of them called it a tax, but it's not
a system.
It's not a tax. It's a system that helps to collect tax.
But I feel like they were pardoned. Weren't they pardoned for those?
Yeah, but it still stays.
It still stays because it helps.
Still stays.
It is going to help.
So
it's going to help.
I had quite a number of people here on the economic agenda, and we were discussing. I had a professor from UMI who is very well versed with economics, and I also had an expert. She's called Hanifa. She's an expert in taxation, and according to them, the story behind IFRIS is that it has a lot of loopholes. It has a lot of mistakes that it comes with, and according to them, it's not because the system is bad. It's how it's being implemented. And the Professor Trino Muhwezi was explaining and said he's a lecturer of economics at UMI. Was explaining and said that the IFRIS, what people missed is that it's a policy and it needed to be implemented as a policy with the proper procedure, including research, including consultation, including making sure that people are taught about it. Because even us, the educated, we were not very familiar with IFRIS. You get? Now imagine a woman who sells katogo and ended in P5. So those were the loopholes. So right now, as we insist that it's going to be used, the question for me to the president is going to address is: are people ready? And is it going to be implementable according to how the process is?
Anyway, we shall see what will turn out at the end of the day. And of course, I'm looking here at trade disputes play out in Pondwe border and looking at the amount that was allegedly being demanded for the release of a trader was 26 million Ugandan shillings. And of course, a team of South Sudan officials and diplomats from South Sudan Embassy in Kampala traveled to Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo border of Pondwe last Saturday in response to reports of harassment faced by the South Sudanese fish exporters. This story was actually trending yesterday. Now, of course, at Mpombe border, officials were told a trader was arrested and jailed at Katwe prison. A soldier had reportedly asked for $7,000, which is approximately 26 million Ugandan shillings. Now, of course, the traders said 8 other trucks were held at a Lego border post in northern Uganda because the fish had not been cleared to proceed to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Interesting facts here. Interesting news here. Very interesting. And the Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda came up and said, do not act on rumors to arrest members of Parliament.
Is that in defense or in caution? I don't want to say.
This is her defending her institution.
Mother defending the children. That's
of course, the Speaker says any arrest of MPs must be transparent, with specific reasons provided and proper sums issued through her office.
I want to highlight something.
No, go ahead.
I want to highlight something when the Speaker says that. The Speaker sometimes keeps quiet about some things that happen in the House, and then sometimes raises a voice. I love what she does, honestly, in terms of moderating that House. But I think the arrest and that tone brought out I hope it's not a Chinese whisper. You know Chinese whisper? How I hope the message was not affected by Chinese whisper. But the speaker saying that and looking at how some other things have been handled, I remember the issues of Zake and how a number of people were sacked.
The money we do not, it's not like we get them as citizens red-handed, like,
You know,
because at the end of the day you don't have, it's now in the hands of police, to arrest them. And
you are saying if it's citizens who are arresting them,
if it was up to the citizens
to arrest the citizen arrest is not always
it
very.
won't be even arrest, mob justice.
Don't listen to this.
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, disclaimers. This is just our
disclaimer.
Well, of course, it's just.
But it's a reality. If citizens were arresting these people,
it wouldn't be a mob justice.
Because trust me, sometimes we look at these things and we don't look at the amount of damage it causes. There's a woman that is dying in a poor hospital somewhere because somebody stole money. Now, this was for cooperatives. The money that's allegedly say that Honorable Mawanda.
Well, no. Well, we shall continue this conversation after this short commercial break, and of course, coming up is what is happening in East Africa and across the borders. Do stay tuned.
Thank you.